we're gonna start with a quick flash of all the artwork that we looked at, all of our Yayoi Kusama artwork. And I want you to be thinking about why her work might be important to the world. Yayoi Kusama's work is easily accessible. I think it's beautiful. It has a variety of forms. It just opens up 2D and 3D and painting and clay. I also love her life story, and there's a lot of good children's books about her life. Everyone's gonna stand up now. George, can you go find those people? Gather them up and go to a table. Where's Maxon? Maxon, can you find those people? That's your team. I was strategic with the way that I formed my groups, thinking about someone who I think of as quiet, someone who I think of as expert, someone who I think of as ready to speak, and also to have a more lively discussion. I want you guys to look at these and then think about why her work is important. I chose the 3 whys because I think it gets to the heart of things. Why is it important to us? Why is it important to our community? So it has that personal level, the global level, and the community. So why is her work important?
I think part of what makes it special is that she was just kind of really weird. And she didn't care what other people think, so she just put up her art, and eventually she just became famous. But she really had to keep going to get there.
I've done the 3 whys before with different classes, and I just think it gets to the heart of why art is important.
I was thinking she's helping the world by letting people be inspired by her art and let them put thoughts wherever they might feel. Not everybody can be inspired by art by just looking at it. Sometimes they have to do it to be inspired.
My thinking was that she lets people go around and touch and examine her sculptures. She's not like keeping her sculptures out of reach.
I feel like she had a lot of feelings, but like she left her mom and kind of everything.
Oh, like our stories that we read?
Yeah.
All right, you guys, in case you want to jot anything down, why do you think?
Can we also draw?
Yeah, that's a way to take notes. I thought that the big paper would ground them and that it would give them sort of a landing place and a lot of reference to kind of go back to the things that we've seen previously. So the paintings, the installation rooms, all of the different things, like a little bit of a smattering of each so that they would remember, oh yeah, that was the thing I really loved.
Another reason why her work is important to the world is because her work is different, very, very different. It's not like, say, many artists just do like like when she went to art school, for example, she didn't want to do it because what they said it was you have to do this. You have to do the original Japanese style. Because when she came back to Japan after being in America for so long, she found that many people were very inspired by her work.
I thought it was interesting that when they spoke about the world, when they spoke about why her work matters to the world, they're really still thinking about that it's detailed, that it's beautiful, that it's aesthetic. Can you guys all stop for a minute and look up at the board? Everyone pens up and look up at the board. So this is one of Yayoi's pumpkins. I don't know where it is, but that pumpkin I know is here in Santa Fe. So we have a museum called the Vladimir Contemporary. Maybe we'll get to go in the future. I heard that maybe we could plan a field trip. And why do you think that our community would want that? Because we talked about the world, right? Now we're thinking about our community, right? Our smaller place, our Santa Fe.
I think that it means that it can tell people that whenever they feel like that, they can see Yayoi's painting and see that sculpture and say that they can do it just like that.
So we have a lot of folk art here, but a lot of artists, because it's such a small town, we don't have. But it's really nice that we get Yayoi Kusama. She's super duper famous, and that's nice. And we also have the Georgia O'Keeffe Museum, and she did the letter to that. I think that's.
Oh, you're remembering that Georgia helped Yayoi? What about that letter? What do you remember about that?
The reason why Yayoi wrote to wrote to Georgia O'Keeffe is because she saw a book about her and she was inspired by her, and she wanted to ask, since she wasn't doing very well in art school because she wasn't doing the traditional Japanese way, she asked Georgia O'Keeffe for advice.
How about you, Maxim? What do you think?
Well, I think that she's very bold because most artists were men in those days. And she was probably like the only woman. And when she started getting famous, more women stood up for themselves and went famous. And then more and more and yeah, I really think that's cool.
That she inspired other women?
And she's bold.
And bold. I like that word, bold. So things that I notice from the lesson are just the repetition of the words detail and unique and different, and that she was brave and bold. Are you guys ready for the last question? Why is Yayoi Kusama's work important to you personally? Lou has their hand up.
That Yayoi's work is important to me because it reminds me that what I need is right in front of me. Because she had to find a lot of work to find what she needed, but then she realized that when she just made art, she could be happy.
She put a lot of work into it, and it must be really hard because this could take a long time, but she didn't give up. She just was very patient.
I think that the idea of infinity, because this is one of her infinity rooms, I think that's really cool. She combined two of her favorite things, which is polka dots and infinity, and I think that's really cool.
She's important to me because she's very brave and really outgoing, kind of, because to have like that much when like you don't know like any English and you're in like New York City, and like I think that's like you should be as brave as she was.
Well, I think she's really important personally because, like, if you ever felt like alone or something, she always said that the reason why she liked dots is partly it made her feel like she was a tiny dot in millions of others, and it just kind of made her feel like she had more friends, and it made her feel better.
I thought it was fascinating that the story is more important almost than the artwork. Like they're just side by side. Like her story, her bravery. I knew that when I was reading the books and was like, oh, they're going to love this. But the fact that they remembered all those details about her life, just that part of the social emotional learning that can come from this.
Why Yayoi is kind of like special to me is her mom was like, you need to be a proper lady. She was like, no, I love my art. I'm going to keep with my art. And if you can't respect that, then I just might have to go somewhere else.
For the why it matters to them personally, I felt like that's where the story really rang. Like that's where they were talking about her being bold and brave. Maybe where some of the feminism came in, that idea of her inspiring other women and having to sort of go against the grain of her own family and traditional way. Do you guys want to write any words on there? Did you already do that? That's a lot. All right, you guys, we're going to hang them up now. Markers away. It was just interesting to me that the things that I'm hoping to teach, the things that I'm hoping with visual art that they'll see as important, they see that as being important to the world. When I think about the 3 whys, I want it to be important to them. I want them to know that art has a place in this world that's important, and that the work that we study, why is it important? So I want that to resonate.